everybody? Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
Yes, it is. And welcome to our Mastermind series. And real quickly before we get to
birthday month. Yep. So if you're watching and not listening, you get to see his really cool birthday month shirt.
This is not only a fun shirt, like for my Fun Shirt Friday. This is a golf shirt.
Yeah.
And this is I wear this on those days when I might wander off, so you can see me. So I'm off in the woods looking for my ball. But anyway, welcome to our Mastermind series. This is a series of episodes that we're doing talking about the different masterminds that we are either in or have been in the past. Mm-hmm. And this one sort of landed in our lap. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. But this one's called the Power Room.
Yeah. So
Power Room.
Yeah, really exciting. Kind of a scary name. When I heard of it, I was like,
oh, I was terrified going into that first meeting. And it's not a meeting, whatever. First event.
Yeah.
I was terrified. I had no idea what we were walking into. Absolutely.
We'll share more of that as we go. So the owners are Eddie Wilson and Andrew Cordell. And now.
And I guess Flip and Danny too.
They actually just opened up ownership of this mastermind to some of the members, and so we were one of those one of the members that got invited to be a part owner, and so we are part owner of the Power Room, and it's super exciting to be able to actually say that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm like, what?
That is pretty cool.
Of all the masterminds, the one that really is. It's going to be like the game changer for us as we continue to grow. We'll talk about that in a second. But it was the one we were probably the most scared to join because we're like, are we good enough to be in that room?
Well, and it's out of our element. You know, this isn't. I mean, it's not real estate.
Yeah, right.
It's just CEOs and owners of companies, and we're just like. I'm just a little guy, I don't belong here.
Exactly. So you want to talk about, how we were introduced to it? Eddie coming to our office.
Yeah. So Sharper Systems, right?
Sharper Processes.
Sharper Processes.
Yep.
Has a operation system called Empire.
Yes.
And Eddie was he basically
he created it.
Yeah,
he's the mind behind it.
Yeah. And he owns like 3 billion companies or something like that.
Maybe close to 100.
He sold most of them, so he only owns like 2 billion. I think he owns like 90 companies. One of which is a coffee company down in Georgia, which is the best coffee in the world. I'll just tell you that.
Because coffee. Yeah. We're just gonna make that plug. We get nothing for it, but
BecauseCoffee.com. Check it out. It's I had Happy Place coffee this morning and very good. Anyway, so he came here to our office to talk to us about this about Empire.
Yes.
This about operations and he talked to us the first day and like towards the end of the first day he goes, you know what, I think you guys would be really good. You'd be a good fit for the Power Room. And I'm like, what's that? I had no idea. And he gave us just a brief example of it, and he dropped some names of like people that have come there and spoke, and I'm just like, that sounds awesome. Absolutely. And so they invited us and we went to it and literally that first night, they came out and they talked for a bunch. They brought out a speaker and then they talked and they brought on another speaker. And then next thing you know, it was like, we're in Utah. So we're on a totally different time zone. And so we're basically barely alive because we're so tired. And all of a sudden it ended, and I just looked at Danny. I said, wow, we just spent 4 hours in a mastermind and didn't talk about real estate once.
Yeah.
This is awesome. So it was, it blew my mind. And just the people that are in that room are and it's we gushed about 7-figure flipping, when we joined that. This is the same thing. And like everybody in there, they're all CEOs, they're all founders. And, it's an invitation only. Nobody can just join. And and everyone's just, hey, how can I help? And it's just the nicest people.
Yes,
the nicest people.
Yeah. I really like it because it is completely different. So it doesn't even compare to the other masterminds that we're in. This one is on its own level. And I don't know that any other mastermind I'll ever be a part of will compare to what they're trying to do here. And not only were we grateful for Eddie coming to our office to teach us about the Empire operating system and all that brought to the table, and the things that he did to kind of really fine tune what our vision was and what our path forward was, but inviting us into a room with other people that are like us, that he talks to and meets with every single day, but we don't, right? We're on our own path and our own journey. And even though we're in these other masterminds, they're usually solopreneurs. Like I don't think there was anybody in any of the masterminds at the level that we were at in terms of building as many companies as we had as many team members as we had. So that was the piece that was missing for us, is we didn't have that peer-to-peer person that we could go, okay, you're in my boat. You're doing what I'm doing, and it's crazy. And so taking us into that room just put us into a room, quite frankly, where we're one of the small people, right?
Yeah, we're the little fish.
Yeah, we've been the bigger fish for the most part in previous masterminds. Here, we're just the little guys, and that's, I think, what made it scary. Is like, he invited us to a mastermind he thought that we would actually be a part of, like, and he like owns all these businesses, and okay, who else is going to be in that room, and are we going to fit in? Are we going to feel small? Yeah, we do feel a little bit small, but I mean, we still fit in, and it's making us think bigger, do bigger things, grow more. And this is the people we need to be surrounded with. We need to be the dumbest people in the room.
Yeah.
And we
no
are.
I liked when people were introducing themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming around the corner and it's coming down our row, and which means that you're going to automatically hand me the microphone. Right? And
true.
So, like 2 or 3 people down, you know, he introduces himself, and he happens to be the owner and CEO of the largest real estate lender. You know, and he's got, you know, close to 300 employees, and blah, blah, blah. And then the next guy, he owns 12 RV dealerships all across the Southwest, United States. And he also owns like I think it was like a couple hemp farms or something like that. It was just you know, $1 million, like just mega $1 million system, or companies. Thank you.
Yep.
You know, and the next person, same thing. Next person, same thing. And all of a sudden, the mic goes, "Hi, I'm Flip. We have 6 real estate companies in Ohio." You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I was like. It immediately made me think of Wayne's World. We're not worthy. You know, just like, oh my gosh. But they're the nicest people, you know, and it's really brought us both out of our shell. As far as, you know, because we always talk about we're the introverts, but now we're actually the ones like sitting at tables and talking to people, and which is so not us. But we're getting to know everybody, and they're just the nicest people.
They are. One of the things that I liked the most is Andrew, when he had mentioned this room, what we had envisioned when we created it was these type of caliber of people. And he said, my excitement was not to be one of the speakers on the stage. My excitement was to be in the room with these people, making deals happen. Partnering in companies, partnering on, you know, properties, partnering in funds, just doing deals together and bringing in other speakers and members who could also do deals together. And as soon as he said that, like, the light went off, that I went, that's why these people have been the speakers and have been in the rooms talking with people and creating these partnerships and forming these, you know, companies together to be able to just, like, you are putting all the power players into this one. And so, like, when we were asked to be a part of the ownership, we're like, this is just, is it scary? Yeah, it's scary. Like, this is like so new to us. But this is the world we want to play in, right? And this is a game of, you know, of business, of money, and everything else. And we're now surrounded by people who are so much smarter than we are, and they're teaching us so much. And I actually put on one of these things since we joined the Power Room. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people that we're working with, partnering with, talking with, doing different things with. Like this has become our network, and where we're starting to play in the business world. So it's a really, really incredible mastermind. They meet 4 times a year. It was 6 times a year, but I think enough people went 6 times a year is a bit too much. We are all business owners.
Exactly.
So, and they're creating an investor club, right? That's going to be part of the next one. We're going to be in Lake Tahoe, and they're going to have this investor club. They've got their own app. I mean, all of it's just, you know, super, super crazy awesome.
And the speakers they bring in are not like, you know, you don't go to a real estate, you know, mastermind and there it's just real estate, and they just pound you in the head over real estate. You know, they bring in some really, really cool speakers. You know, one of the guys was the advisor to 2 U.S. presidents, the political advisor to 2 U.S. presidents. They brought in the what are the twins? The Hodge twins.
The Hodge twins, yeah.
I mean, there you go. There's 2 ends of the spectrum right there. But they also brought in. I'm trying to think. Mike Tyson. That was a treat. And the football player. Why can't I think of his name?
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow. Brought in Tebow, and Tebow had a room full of 200 CEOs bawling like little girls.
Yes, we were.
Sure. But yeah, so it's. I'm super excited and anxious every time an event comes up, and then just the event happens. You're buzzing the entire time the event happens. All of a sudden, it's over, and you're like, "When's the next one?"
Yes.
Where's it at? Oh, Lake Tahoe. Ooh, never been there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, super exciting. Power Room, that's going to be forever in our life now that we're part owners. We're super excited about that, and super excited about bringing more people in that are of the same caliber, people of, not us, we're the small guys, but other, greater, people that own businesses and that want to be a part of a group like this. And I guess people like us should be in there too, because we're loving it and we're getting great value out of it. And I hope we, in exchange, can provide a lot of value to the people that are there. So if you want to learn more about the Power Room, that's what this series is about. Just share with you how much these groups have impacted us, so that if you want to, join, then for this group in particular, it is invite only. So you do need to be a CEO or founder of a company, and you need to talk to us or reach out to Eddie, Andrew, anybody that we've named here, or that is a part of the Power Room, reach out to them. Let them know that you'd like to be invited. We'll talk to you, get to know you if we don't know you already. Typically, we're reaching out to people we already know, and we say, you're going to be a good fit for this. Would you like to come? But if you don't have a personal relationship with us yet, hopefully you know somebody else in that room that does. But if not, feel free to reach out. And we'd love to talk to you about it. Costs, we've been talking about it on each one of these. Cost is around, I think, $25,000 a year. That might change depending on when you're watching this video. So don't hold me to it, but I always want to give everybody the mind. That's for CEOs and founders. That's a drop in the bucket, right? For what this room of people can do for you.
And we've been there for a year, and again, 10x. What
In fact, we signed a paper to renew like 6 months in. We're like, oh yes, we're going to renew. Here you go.
Not a question.
Anyways, super exciting. So I like this series, and I like sharing it with everybody here.
Awesome. Well, make sure you're heading on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, to join our investor club. And we also we talk about deals in there. We got the swag on the website. We're also on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTubers, Googlers, TikTokers, and all those fun things. But we like to end all of our episodes with
invest smart,
live happy.
Bye everybody.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on this show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss.